Hello everyone, this is Malik Khowaja from 𝐀𝐮𝐤𝐿 Consultants. We are the registered migration agents and education consultancy firm, and we are one of the top ranking firm in Melbourne representing clients for migration and education purpose. Vetassess is one of the largest skill assessment body that provide skill assessments for 28 different trade occupations as well as more than 260 professional occupations. So today we're gonna discuss the document checklist, the occupations involved, the eligibility criteria, the cost involved for skill assessment, as well as what's the processing time and how to prioritize the applications. In order to verify the skilled occupations, you need to go to the Home Affairs website and go to the skilled occupation list section. Search for the occupation you are looking for, and when you search for the occupation in the list will tell you which skill assessment body is involved for the skill assessment of that occupation. For example, if you go to the skill occupation list on Home Affairs website and type management consultants, so you will definitely see the assessment body there as Vetassess. There are some occupations where two assessment bodies may involve in doing assessment for the same occupation. For example, civil engineering professionals. So if you search these kind of occupations there, you may find two skill assessment bodies, and you may go to any assessment body to get your skill assessment done. So Vetassess, as I mentioned before, divided the occupation in two parts. One occupations are those who comes under the professional levels, and the other occupation that comes on the trade occupation level. So for the professional occupations, the general eligibility requirements are that you must have a relevant qualification up to the required AQF level, as well as you require at least 1 year of post-qualification experience. It could be full-time or part-time. However, it should be 20 hours per week. Now there are other assessment criteria as well if you don't fall under the general requirement. So number one is that if you have a qualification which is up to the AQF level, required level, but it's not highly relevant, so you would require total 3 years of post-qualification experience. You can reduce it to 2 years of post-qualification experience by having a certificate in the relevant studies and which has to be relevant to the occupation. You can also provide a pre-qualification experience. However, in that scenario, you would require total 6 years of experience, out of which 1 year of experience has to be within the last 5 years. Now for trade occupations, there are two pathways for trade occupation. The pathway one is for those who do not have an Australian qualification which is relevant to their occupation. In this scenario, you would require at least 6 years of experience if it's a licensed trade, and you would require 4 years of experience even with the licensed trade. However, you must have a relevant formal training done prior to that experience. Similarly, you would require 5 years of total experience for a non-licensed trade occupation where you have no formal training, and 3 years of experience post-formal training for non-licensed trade occupation. Now with the pathway 2 is for those who have the Australian qualification. For them, you would require at least 3 years of post-qualification experience, out of which 1 year of experience has to be completed within the last 3 years. So these are the requirements for the trade occupations via Vetassess. So if you talk about professional occupations, the cost for professional occupation is $962 for offshore applicants and $962 plus GST, which is 10% of that amount, would be for onshore applicants. Now you can prioritize your application as well. So the normal processing time for Vetasses professional occupation goes to up to 3 to 4 months. However, you can prioritize that and get the outcome within 2 to 10 business days by just paying extra $623 for offshore applicants and $623 plus GST for onshore applicants. Now for trade occupations, it also depends on which pathway you go for. If you go for a pathway 1 where you do not have an Australian qualification, it requires $1,280 for stage 1 and $900 for stage 2 application. If you go with the pathway 2 application with having an Australian qualification, the stage 1 cost is $1,280 and the stage 2 cost is also $900, and sometimes it depends, it can go up to $2,000, as well as you may need to pay the additional fees for a practical demonstration if requested by the case officer. Now the document checklist starts with the identity documents. So you have to provide a passport or a birth certificate as a primary document, and you have to provide at least one secondary identity documents, which may involve either your Medicare card, your national ID documents, your driving license, and so on. Further to that, you may require to provide the recent passport style photograph, which has to be taken within the last 6 months. For your educational documents, you would require your qualification completion document that may include your qualification, means your award or degree certificate, or it can include a completion certificate or a completion letter. Also, you may require an academic transcript for that qualification. Further to that, for the employment, you would require an employment experience letter that must state that you are working in that nominated occupation for at least 20 hours per week, in which company, which country, and your at least 5 responsibilities must be mentioned in that experience letter. To support your experience, you also need to provide the pay evidence. You must provide at least one set of pay evidence that proves that you were getting paid for that employment. These kind of documents may include pay slips, bank statements showing salary transactions, superannuation documents, or your tax return documents. Another 2 things that you may need for the Vetasses skill assessment is your CV or latest resume, which also must include all your employment and educational details. You may also be required to provide an organizational chart for your employment to show the hierarchy and on which occupation you are working in that company. This is required only for few occupations for Vetasses. Thank you so much. I hope you learned a lot about the Vetasses skill assessment. If you require further services, you can contact 𝐻𝐿 consultants, and we would be happy to help you with your skill assessment process. Thank you.